Today we'll talk about planning your brand out so you don't miss out on any deadlines, any drops, any releases, any manufacturing delays, shipping delays, stuff like that. From product launch to product hyping to content types and content planning, event planning in real life. Two examples of new project and how they are destroying the content game, and how do we go about content planning, plus 10 content ideas that you can just steal right now, steal the format and just apply it to your reels, TikTok, campaigns, whatever it is. So first thing, product planning. Think about if you have drops ready for the whole year. Are you still in the sampling process? Are you being able to hit your seasonal deadlines? For example, if you have a t-shirt, then you can't drop in a season that is cold, right? If you sell into a country where it's cold, then it just doesn't make sense. People are looking for warm shit because it's fucking cold. Or are you just designing products right now? Are you gonna be able to sample quickly to shoot content after that? And while your shit is being sampled, can you think about content types and content planning ahead? So overall, there's a lot of things that overlap and you really need to consider at the same timeline. The thing is, people won't wait for your shit. People change, the market changes, vibes change, tastes change, everything changes, and if you aren't being able to catch up and you really release something that is quote unquote out of the movement, then it's out of movement, it's just out of flow, and it's not currently going on. Back then, when all this hype beast shit and sneaker shit was going on, all this easy shit, okay, there's still people that are wearing Yeezys, but back then, like, you you saw it on everyone, well, almost everyone, and when you saw it, you were like, damn, like it was a wave, and it was like, I want to jump on this wave. The same thing with Supreme back then. And if you like just create something like Yeezy right now, you probably won't flow. What used to stand out just doesn't work anymore. And if you can't understand that, then you won't stand out. If you just take inspiration from another brand and you're gonna go, I'm gonna take a similar fabric, similar design, similar content type, similar lightning composition, similar looking models, similar props and set design on your shoot, similar locations, all of that stuff, and you just go like, I'm gonna make a similar thing. Is it really yours? Think about it. It's different when you cook up something and it becomes a totally different thing. That's something that you really find out in the process. But if you really literally, there are brands that just literally just copy a design. They just like screenshot like a design, paste it into their like sketching or like Photoshop or whatever. They sketch the exact same thing and maybe edit like 5%. It's like, did you actually do it? You are here for the money, right? So you need a product and a world, a universe, and some vibes and an image that people and the consumers, aka your community or your audience, gonna want to associate themselves with. It needs to be a vibe that stands out, not just another Travis Scott, right? Like the same delivery, the same tones, the same voice, the same image, the same the way that copy of Travis Scott dresses. Right? Maybe for Travis it's a good thing because he's gonna feel good about it because people are copying him, and that's what inspires him to do more shit like that. But if you literally copy everything from A to Z, then what makes you you? When you are planning all this stuff, you need to be kind of delusional and daydream a bit. Think about what your entire collections will look like. What lookbooks? How are you gonna shoot it? Like, think about if you would have unlimited budget. Who would you be working with? What locations would you fly to? Would you be collabing with Pharrell Williams or like Rick Owens or Travis himself? Like, think bigger. Do you want to add some accessories or home decor into your fashion brand? Because a lot of people don't look at fashion as just their clothes, but also their room design, for example. So do you want to collab with a particular designer, another brand, 3D designer, another artist, another creator? Think about that. Now, it might not really happen, but if you just start thinking about this entirely from like a bigger picture, it's gonna help you look at the details from a totally different perspective. Now let's talk about the actual calendar planning, because bro, as you probably know by now, timing is everything. You probably bump into some issues like manufacturing issues. Maybe, you know, it was holiday season, so people took their time off. It's, you know, Chinese New Year's, you know, upcoming. So think about all of this stuff that could affect your brand, because you're gonna miss your deadlines and your jobs and your content planning and everything, because you will miss deadlines if you don't think ahead. Now the whole time I'm talking about planning ahead, but to plan ahead you also gotta look back at your data. What you wanna do in regards of looking at your past data is look at the peaks, the highs, the lowest, and the average. You want to identify those periods, not just because of the views, but engagement as a whole, sales, followers, and especially sales. Was it because of a Black Friday? Was it because of like an influencer or creator, artist wearing your stuff in that period? Was it Valentine's Day? Was it because you implemented like a new hyping strategy, new marketing strategy that resulted in more sales or even in worse sales? Was it because of a particular content type, content format that you posted in that period and that you really stopped doing, so now you know you're basically growing down than growing up? Was it because you started targeting a totally new cold audience from a different country? Identify, reflect, and grow. Have a feedback loop. Why so much stuff, Hui? Because you chose this. Okay, but I'm kidding, because based off this you can craft better planning for your community. Let's say on Valentine's Day, what does your fashion consumer, your client, do? Do they have like a girlfriend and do they buy them a particular fucking accessory, jewelry? Can you make that shit for the Valentine's Day, or can you just even give it to your community? Like, how can you engage with your community rather than just, hey, here's a discount code, hey, like here's discount codes? Like, can you do something else than that? Next up, the content funnel that every brand uses in 2025. So about content and past data, again, you want to look at your metrics, not just views, overall sales, comments, saves, all of that stuff. And you want to ask yourself, can I take this format and build around it? Can I do something similar, not necessarily something new, because I found a format of a content that works for my account, so how can I replicate that type of content? And the same thing with creators or influencers that you work with. It works the same way. You want to help them analyze through all of that process. As a brand owner or creative director, marketing director, I don't care. Like, if you work with influencers, then you want to be talking strategy with them. Look at the types of content that work for you, like for you or for your influencer or creator. Is it because they did a particular transition hook, like color grading? Is it the behind the scenes where you and your team of creators, of influencers, of models are traveling around the world? Is it the ones where you show yourself as the owner? Or is it on the other hand when your creators, your models are the faces of the brand? Is it packaging content and shipping content to customers? Is it the actual cool, crazy edits that work the most? Or is it like the chill, still cinematic films that work the most? Is it a particular graphic design style that you tested in your email sequence and it worked? Or you tested it in, you know, meta ads and you saw the return on it? What is it? Reflect, identify, grow in a feedback loop. You want a funnel and a format that you can do on a repeatable basis for your brand if you want to scale, because you want systems that are repetitive. But okay, Hui, nothing has been working for me. Well, if not, then I will show you an exact funnel. Here's how. So I want to talk about Nude Project and Bruno, the brand owner. The best thing about Nude Project and Bruno and the brand is that his narrative is basically, let's just keep the camera on, because simply we are cool as fuck as we are, and we don't need to hide behind all the brand campaigns only. Yes, they do have brand campaigns, crazy looking lookbooks on their Instagram, crazy videos, crazy reels, and pictures on their page. But the way Bruno showcases everything behind the scenes about him and his team is the thing that, again, is behind all of those fancy brand campaigns. People get to see the sauce and then how the sauce is being made. When you know that deep stuff already, you become like a super fan. You're so immersed into this story of making this sauce while also eating it, and you're like, fuck, this shit is good. Like, I'm understanding the whole point now. His community gets to see him as a real person and not just a brand, and that's what allowed him to really build a long-term story and a huge legacy for the brand. So Bruno, he created characters for the brand. He is a character as well, and it's like a whole fucking film, man. Like, this game of life is just a film itself. Characters that you fuck with, the environment they're hanging out with, and you want to be a part too. Now, the next brand I want to talk about is Fracture Kenkyo. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. The owner is DVAD. I don't know if that's like Vat. I don't know. Okay, but if you take a look at his personal account here, he has a whole series of episodes of how he, is going about finance, about releasing a new collection, the inspiration board behind his designs, and that's his personal brand. Like, just take a look and you'll see the funnel itself, right? That is his personal brand, and on his brand's account he's doing totally something else, right? It's a totally different format, and what he's doing is that he has this personal brand, and the traffic there is going to the brand's account, and the brand's account traffic is going to the personal, and it's this yin and yang system, traffic system, that is fueling each other. So as you can see from the examples of brands that I showed you, and I'm gonna show you more and how we go about it as well, there's content that drives quick awareness or like virality. I don't want to call it like that, but just fucking attention, right? Which is top of the funnel, right? And then middle of funnel, people who are repeatedly seeing your stuff, liking your stuff. There's content that starts to educate on the actual brand, on the actual product, which is middle of funnel. And then there's content that actually sells the product, drop dates, job announcements, stuff around that, which is bottom of the funnel. Top of the funnel means the most cold people, they never saw your shit, never heard about you. Middle funnel, they see your shit sometimes and engaging maybe a bit, but not that much. Bottom of funnel, almost close to super fans, right? And then after the bottom funnel, they become a client, obviously. Next up, event planning. If your brand has like a 1 year anniversary, is there something in the world that is going on? Like, for example, Valentine's Day, upcoming Chinese New Year, even my brother has like a sort of snack candy store, grocery store, and we're planning like a pop-up in Chinatown here in Prague, for example. So is there something going on in the world, or can you think of something else, just like a regular meet and greet your community and giving away stuff to them? Is there like a worldwide culture that is happening now, or something? I don't want to use that as an example, but let's say very big thing happened recently, which LA started on fire. So okay, don't like create shit around that, because that's very sad. But like, is there something worldwide like that is happening culture wise that you can sort of leverage and position your brand on top of? How do we go about content planning? So we start with these really simple mood boards, and as Tencent industry, like as you can see, it's a very like Pokemon niche based. And when the brand showed me this, I was like, I would wear this shit, because it's jewelry, it's Pokemon, but it's like fucking Chromars, bro. So for this brand, we really chose like a three-way brand image that everything could work together at once, which is funny because Disney just allowed us to do so. So let's start with luxury. Okay, luxury vibes. As you can see, me and my creative director, we found some pictures that we call like a vibe of color matching here. So for example, let's say it's like Charmander, then the vibes around the set design around is gonna be a little bit red. Okay, and the fact that the jewelry is chrome and it's silver, then it's gonna have like a good contrast. Like, it's not gonna really like blend into each other. So as an example here, again, like here, what's this Pokemon called, bro? Gengar, bro, right? The color, the vibe of this set design could be like purple, and again, Gengar is like, is it Gengar? I don't fucking know, bro. But it's silver, so the contrast is gonna be great. And a Pokemon versus Pokemon, you know, sort of contrast, which is very similar to this coloring thing, but instead it's gonna be like a Pokemon versus Pokemon, one side versus the other side. That's pretty much the narrative. The next thing, some shots, some creative compositions that me and my creative team really like are these, you know, compositions. You can just understand the picture yourself. Anyways, these compositions are nice. This is simple. This was nice. I like how, you know, the GAN is being, yeah, you know what I mean, and it just adds a good depth to the image. Next thing, this is something that we really came up, you know, on randomly. Like it had no thought at all, no initial thought. So we call this Hood Casino X Gamblers, basically a poker Pokemon type of thing. So instead of like poker cards, right, we're gonna have some top shots, top down shots here, some, you know, character shots, you know, basically a character like sitting holding the deck of the cards, maybe like, you know, showing, you know, some rings, some Pokemon rings, and like having a necklace, something that's something that we're gonna do easily on spot. But to give you an idea, the set design is gonna be this table, just basically gambling, but it's instead of the, you know, poker cards, we're gonna be training Pokeballs, I don't fucking know, and we're gonna be playing with Pokemon cards, right? And we're gonna have like this deck as, you know, this OG deck as a prop, because, you know, Pokemon is my fucking bro. I was watching this every fucking morning, every day, pretty much the whole day. I was searching for series that I've never watched yet, right, and versions, but nowadays it's too much. Yes, and I did search about it because I was like, okay, I have to, because like we have a brand that is coming to us like this. So the next stop, we have a Nintendo shoot. So that, you know, we could pair it with this, you know, Hood Casino shit, and also do it, you know, on its own. So basically just using Nintendo as a prop in a shoot along with, you know, the jewelry. So it could be, you know, for example, this type of stuff, but, you know, it could be like a Nintendo instead of it, or a Pokemon card, shit like that. That's something, you know, to really be discussed like specifically first. So I just want to show you like how we really go about this stuff. Another content planning that we have for our brand is Leon Studio. I really like this Renaissance, you know, type of vibe, and this design fire as well. Right, this is pretty simple for us because we're based in Czech Republic, in Prague, and it has just these transcendent vibes, as you can see with some examples here. This was from the client itself. This is the vibe that we're going for. And talking about all this mood board thing, like when we have more people on set, when you direct them, if you show them this, hey, this is the tone, this is the environment, this is the mood that we're going for today, they're gonna tune into it. They're gonna understand, you know, what you're trying to do way more than you just explain it word by word by word. Like you just show them this mood board, you know, with your videographers, photographers, talent, other art directors on spot, and they're gonna understand it immediately. As I was saying, you know, we have this shit in Prague, so, you know, we have this church in Prague as a locations, another, you know, architecture in Prague, another stuff in Prague. So this is pretty much simple for us. So now I'm gonna leave you with 10 content ideas, and what I want you to do is not really just watch through them one by one, but I want you to really pause, watch your reel, pause, think about what really hooked you, think about what kept you going, think about the movement in the video itself, think about the angles that kept you still enrolled into that video, and think about what emotions it evoked on you, why particularly. Don't just watch all of these 10 at once. Watch it, pause, go back, answer your questions, because that's how you develop like a growth mindset. You learn from this shit and then you are able to even create it. So in each of the content I'll be showing you right now, you're gonna be seeing a strategy called AAA. You're gonna be seeing some stuff, if not all of this stuff, happening in that video. First thing is action, some sort of movement in the video. Are the characters running away or doing some crazy criminal shit, as an example. Two is the overall aesthetic, the colors, the contrast between the background and the subject, as an example. Third thing is angle. Is it shot from a very interesting angle from the top, or from a really low angle, or like a POV angle where you're using your phone and it looks like the GoPro shit that you always have in your head, as an example. So what makes the overall reel interesting, or is it just goofy as a whole? So analyze that, learn from it, and I'll see you in the next. Peace out.
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry I'm late. The bus was delayed. My friend is going through a breakup, but I'm here now.
It's okay, it's just going to walk.
Okay.
So what are your favorite hobbies?
I love studying astrology and oh my god, where'd you get the hoodie from?
It's from Unmatched Energy. All girls are the same.
Better keep it cool, cause this shit could get ugly. Remember I was dead broke, now I got some money. Feds on my trail, I ain't going for
I've always wondered why fashion designs can have multiple purposes. For example, what if you made a bag in the shape of a shirt that's fully wearable? So instead of buying one shirt, you also get a bag, which is why I made this design. How it works is that it has two zipper closures on the sides and they can be fully unzipped into a shirt. I think it's an interesting concept to design clothes with multiple usages so they can function as different items.
Dank deinem Ex hast du Inkassobriefe bekommen und bei mir machst du diese. Come on, Mami, das ist ein $1 Million Body. Louis Bags von Murakami. OG so wie Luca Brasi. Come on, Mami.
Hola, papi. Have a $1 million body.
I don't give a